Hello, this is Lew White. This might shake up some people's customs because people are trained to call things some other word rather than what it really is. The word Hebrew is relatively a modern term, the word Hebrew, and we're going to show you what you're really going to be saying when you say that word. This is an overview through time. How many spell the word Hebrew IVRI? IVRI. EBER. Well, EBER has two transliteration errors in it. A prerequisite comment is needed here. First of all, a translation conveys the meaning of a word, but a transliteration conveys the sound of a word into the letters of another language. The word Hebrew refers to Eber. Eber is a forefather of Abram, or Abraham. And it's in a concordance number, it's H5677. And it's spelled with three letters, Eber, Ayin, Beth, Resh. The letter that we use from the Latin alphabet, known as V, was originally sounded exactly as the sixth letter of the Hebrew Aleph Beth. And it became the Greek letter upsilon. I'm going to show you that real quick. This is the original shape of the Hebrew sixth letter. It has a sort of a Y shape, and it makes the sound of U. This is the upsilon in Greek, and it conveys the same shape. I mean, that's where the upsilon got its sound and its letter shape, upsilon. Now, when this upsilon went into Latin, it dropped that lower stem, and it took on this V shape, but it was still sounded as a U. So we're really mispronouncing the letter, but that's why U, V, and W are all next to each other, because they're related, because they derive from Hebrew, then Greek, and then into Latin. The W, though, if you watch my other videos, you'll find that it's actually a doubling of the U, not a double V. And you still call it W. And it was invented as a time-saving device when the Latin Vulgate was being printed by Gutenberg's press. A typesetter found it convenient to make one piece of metal type with two little V shapes and combined them together, and he called it the letter W. And it was brand new. It occurred in the 15th century. That's as old as that W is actually there. So people that spell, let's say, the Tetragrammaton with a W, this letter right here, that's actually an U, an UA. Yod, Hey, UA, Hey. But when they spell it with a double U, well, there's putting two V's in there, or two U's. And these are vowels. Ya, hu, ah. There's no buzzing. There's no clicking or hissing or anything like that. These are vowels. Anyway, when they went into the Latin, the stem was dropped, and people are now pronouncing the letter with a buzzing sound, v, like that. And that makes it a consonant. But it doesn't really change the fact that it's supposed to be a vowel. So IVRI, IVRI, that's a transliterational mistake. First of all, the first letter is not an I. It's actually an ayin. EBER It starts with an E. That's why the Hebrew word is, if you drop the H away and the EW, you have EBR in the middle, and that's the name EBER, but you don't really notice it. Anyway, the upsilon went into the Latin, and it dropped the lower stem, and it became just this little V shape. The shape V was originally a vowel, but the buzzy sound that we make with it today makes it a consonant in our English language. We use Latin letters, by the way, and we use Arabic numerals. A lot of people don't even realize it. Now, there is no letter V, J, or W in the alphabet of 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The language of EBER, now that's the language of EBER, in Scripture, is not called Hebrew. It's called Yahudith. Yahudith. And that's Strong's Concordance number H3066. And you'll find this by looking at an interlinear translation from Hebrew and English, where they put the numbers of the letters, the words up there. And you can look at the spellings and see how they're constructed. So Yehudith is the language or speech, H3066. And you'll find this at Yashayahu or Isaiah chapter 36. Just go to an interlinear online translation and look at Isaiah chapter 36, interlinear. This Rab Shaka, he was the chief cupbearer, and he was shouting up at what he perceived to be his enemy in Jerusalem. And this Rab Shaka was shouting in Yehudith. That's the speech of the Israelites, And they were understanding him, so that they would. That's why he was using that language. But they asked him to speak only in Aramaic, which is the language of Babel. That's where he came from. Look at an online interlinear version to see the words that were used. EBER, or EBRI, is concordance number H5660. No, excuse me, H5680. So that's 5680. And it's spelled Ayin, Beth, Resh, Yod. And it refers to the descendants of Eber. So Abram was called Abram the Ebri at Bereshith, or Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. The language spoken, written, and understood was Yehudith. That's H3066, the concordance number. And this word, Yehudith, is spelled Yod, He, Ua, Daleth, Yod, Ta. And that's the first three letters are right there in the Tetragrammaton, and in the name of the deliverer, which is the same being. It's Yahu, Yahudith. That's the speech, the language spoken by the Israelites. You can see the name of Eber concealed somewhat in the modern attempt to transliterate the name Hebrew, Hebrew. Eber is spelled with three letters, Ayin, Beth, Resh, emphasized here in capital letters, Hebrew. So you just drop the first H and the last two letters, and you've got Eber right in the middle. So you're really referring to Eber, the language and people descended from him. Next, learn the difference between a vowel and a consonant, and watch a video called Script Wars on YouTube. I'll put the link below in the description. Thanks for investigating the phonology, or sound, of words with me. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.